Carson, he responded with a video about the situation where he is confronted and debated with Huff. And I don't need to go in details about the debate, but I need to make sure you can hear both sides of the story. But in this case, when you are debating a historian scholar about the Sinai Bible, Billy tries to make claims against something that happened in the same
Christianity. And he calls himself, guess what, guys? I'm one of the foremost world leader in the knowledge on ancient texts and tablets, scriptures, papyruses, and cylinders. But Billy Carson recently faced a challenge like never before. A debate with Wes Hoff, a Christian scholar and historian. And afterwards, Billy reportedly showed up to the producer's house at 2:30 a.m. demanding that the footage not be released. And if you haven't heard about this debate yet, there is a reason for that.
In the wake of the interview, Billy Carson is asked that
Hi guys, if you've been living under a rock lately, you might know that Billy Carson with Forbidden Knowledge actually debated Dr. Wes Huff, who is a biblical scholar and historian, to put his claims to the test. So let's jump into it, shall we?
Billy Carson and Wes Huff recently sat down in an extensive debate. And in this debate, Wes completely obliterates Billy Carson.
Small fish in this pond that I'm a part of, if you will. But when the whole Wesley thing went down with Mark and that whole situation, Billy sent me a cease and desist. Like, I didn't even I set up the debate, but he sent me a cease and desist. I was like, damn, bro, okay.
12-year-old right now. You guys want to call yourselves people of God and you're attacking a 12-year-old? Who does that? Shame on you people. I got people threatening to come find us, to come to our house. Y'all want to call yourselves people of God? You people are mad because we want to tell people to elevate their consciousness and that we have the power to create our own reality? And people want to get mad at us for that? We never gonna stop waking people up.
It's me, the spiritual philanthropist. So we're going to go through this debate, and hopefully we'll be able to get to the bottom of this. So if you haven't seen my most recent video, I suggest that you take a look at the one right before this that I did, because you'll see that I really start going after this, what's happening here, and really start to scrutinize it. And hopefully it will make some sense to you. But there's a lot of things that Wesley said that, of course, is pertinent, does make sense. I respect his background, but he did make some mistakes here. And, Billy Carson, the way that they dealt with this, I thought was kind of ninja-like. They seem to have put him here on the spot without his knowledge of what he was going to get into. And you can look and see that he was sick. If you look at his video, he talks about how sick he was, and I believe that he actually was sick. I do believe something was wrong there. So, without further ado, as they say, let's move into the stuff, and let's check out this debate here. Okay? So let's see what happens here.
To come to your conclusions, even with Jesus, I'm not personally even waiting on that he has to come back to say, I already know I'm, like I said, that strength of God and consciousness is already, I can tap into that right now. So you don't have to wait for him to come back. For those that believe he does, to actually have that next level of what that's supposed to mean. But Wes, go ahead on for what Billy was talking about, I think with a book in the Harvard Museum, and I heard something about Jesus's wife, which yeah.
Well, first let me say, I think it's really cool to not just be in the room proverbially with you, Billy, but be able to interact with you, because I wish I could be there in person. Unfortunately, Toronto, Canada is a long way away from Florida. It's a little bit of a jaunt, but I really appreciate the fact that you seem to have investigated to a certain degree some of these facts. Do you mind if I ask a clarifying question?
Sure.
When you say the Sinai Bible, what are you referring to specifically?
It's the biblical text that was written. It made it into you can actually look it up on Amazon. It's a Bible called, I have a version at home. It's called the Sinai Bible, right, from Mount Sinai. I'm assuming that's the mountain that they're referencing there. But they put together their own version of the biblical text prior to the King James Version being put out.
Sure. So when you refer to the Sinai Bible, would you be referring to Codex Sinaiticus, like the codex that comes? Okay, that's why I was trying to get some clarification, because so you can actually go and see Codex Sinaiticus is at the British Library, so you can go and see it. It's on display, and the British Library has actually digitized the entire manuscript. So I work with manuscripts in my linguistic work. I'm an expert on early Christian scribal culture, and particularly in Greek and Coptic manuscripts. I actually have a facsimile. So I have a photocopy that was done by the British Library of Codex Sinaiticus that I work with in my office. So I have it here. And the only reason I asked for clarification is because I want to make sure Sinaiticus in particular is just a Greek, it's a 4th century Greek manuscript. Mm-hmm. It comes from approximately between 325 and 350 AD. And its text of the Gospels reads almost identical to the modern Greek text that we develop translations from. So my curiosity is just simply in kind of exploring, when you say that it denies the crucifixion or that the crucifixion isn't there, I mean, I can go on right now, Codex Sinaiticus, and I can look up the end of, say, Matthew 27, where it has Jesus being crucified. And that's in Codex Sinaiticus, or, the John 19, or any of the other ones. So I think my confusion is that it doesn't read any differently. So actually, are you able to pull up a website with the viewers or listeners or whatever be able to see that
right now to make sure I have the version that I'm looking at?
While he's pulling that up too, like I keep saying to all the people that aren't scientists traveling the world and linguists, I don't even know how to pronounce it the right way, like me.
Yeah, linguists.
What cyanide? I keep thinking of cyanide, like the poison cyanide Bible. So
right.
Is that like a version? So from my own knowledge that I know, like when I really studied all this, what I thought was interesting about the Bible was how many different eyewitness. I studied C.S. Lewis back in the day, how many different eyewitnesses and stuff there were. And they went on purpose to mention so many other names that they were able to cross-reference throughout history and throughout those times. From my understanding,